Good morning, everybody. Sorry it's late this morning. I was doing something. Here comes Jackson. Jackson, what's the matter? What do you want? All right, let's get this screen shared and then we'll get this show on the road. For some reason, the computer's frozen. I don't know why. Maybe hit cancel. Well, I don't know why this is happening. The computer's been running great all morning. I only have 3 tabs open. It's not my usual. Well, I know there's 3 of you here. I see that. I may have to just restart. I don't know what is going on. Let me try Control-Alt-Delete. Or is it Control-Alt-Delete? Or yeah, I get confused if I'm on a Mac or not, or if it's Shift, Apple, Escape. Anyway, all right, Task Manager. Hey, Marcus, how you doing there, bud? Let me see if I can get this thing working. If not, I can just restart this. Sorry, it's late. Have a big interview tomorrow with the guy from BITK. I'm hoping to get some ideas from questions from you guys. All right, I got it working. All right, let's get this show on the road so you guys can get on with your trading day. Kick ass, kick ass. I'm happy to hear it. All right, so let's do this. Let's start with, I was encouraged to see the SPY gapped up this morning and a gap past the area that I was worried about. But now we don't want it to fail and fall back in, but it isn't. It's rocking. Heck yes, SPY. Heck yes, SPY. Gap and go this morning. Look at, okay, I know there's a lot of gap areas right here, but this is just a key spot on the chart right here. 666, 67. There was a huge dark pool print there last week, like a $11 billion order. It's 667 or something. And anyway, that's kind of the over under. It's right where this gap is. It's right where this news event happened. That's kind of the over underline, but heck yes, it's killing it. Look at that. That's what you like to see. We've been open for 3 time periods, and each time period we're one time framing up, meaning each higher highs, lower low, or higher lows, higher highs. That's wonderful. That's good to see after last week. Now what we want to see is we want to see us take out the old high, challenge the old high and not fail. The last time we challenged the old high, which was here, we challenged it twice and then we fell back into range. Anyway, hopefully now we're blowing up. All right, well, that's great to see. Let's see what the Qs are doing. If the SPY looks that good, I'd be hard to think what the Qs are. Heck yes. Heck yes, this ought to have the freaking model portfolio kicked into gear. Also, I've been disappointed with the model portfolio lately. And not really with the portfolio. I was disappointed with myself for not managing it effectively. It's not the portfolio's fault with the stocks that I put in it. But anyway, the next time we make an all-time high, somebody make me unload something and put it in salty. Not all of it, but I want to add about 5% salty or even YQQQ. I want to add a little inverse, but not because I think the market's going down, because especially if GDX makes a new high, I'm out. I'm out of half of it. I'm going to get some K gold and I'm going to get some other stuff. Anyway, come on, GDX. Or so I know it's GDXY is what I have, not GDX. But, of course, GDXY is 150% dependent on the future of GDX. So I'm rooting for GDX. But, yeah, if I make I swear to goodness, if I make a new high, I was supposed to do it the last time I made a new high. If I make a new high, I'm going to sell half of the GDXY, put it in some K gold, some K silv, and just a sprinkle and a little bit of salty. Just a little bit for some inverse action. Or it doesn't even have to be salty, but something else to stabilize the portfolio. Stabilize. All right, guys. Well, that's it for the market. So let's look the DeFi Derby. Okay, the DeFi Derby. I didn't really work on this all weekend like I was supposed to. In fact, I procrastinated all weekend, and I was going to do it last night, and then I was tired, and so I thought, I'm just going to go. I'll get up early in the morning and do it. And it's just as long as it's there. Anyway, I did get up early in the morning and got a little bit of it done. But the DeFi Derby now has the blocks positions and the Alti positions working. Let's see. I need to move. Let's move this to its own page. Moved on sheet. So let's look at Alti. So this is we probably ought to do this again. Probably ought to do it vertically. But anyway, just for today, stick with me. Well, let's just do it like this. Watch. I'm just gonna circumvent the process. Then I'm gonna go insert chart. Let's just look at it the way we usually look at it. Well, gosh darn it. Come on. How about a column bar chart? Okay. Move this to its own sheet. Now we're rocking. Okay. All right. So Alti's up 1.4. That's great. Average constituent in the index is up 3.06. All right. CoreWeave's the only thing that's letting us down, and Figma. Allocate, we have 3.4% of the portfolio in Figma, but it's down 1.5%. Where we have call it 5% of the portfolio in CoreWeave, and it's down 3.65%. So, but then we have a lot of them that are up. The average is up. That's great. I like to see it. Let's look at blocks. Let's do the same thing here on blocks. Appreciate your patience. All right, let's move this to its own sheet. Now look at blocks just killing it up 4.57%. And you know what else is going to be doing great today is BITK. And that's the guy I have the interview with tomorrow. I have an interview with Matthew Tuttle from BITK. BITK is totally uncapped in crypto at night. Well, crypto this weekend went from 104 to like 113 or something. It's also uncapped on the weekend. So I bet BITK pays a good dividend this week. We'll see. We shall see. All right. All right. The DeFi Derby. So the only ones I have working right now are blocks and Alti. I'll add the other ones back in. But anyway, okay. So that's that. So let's go, I guess, to the index buffer, and then let's go to stocktools.app. But let's see a feed in 5 year, what they're doing. Yep, every time. It never fails. Feed in 5 year, up the most or down the most. Right? It's just the way it goes. That just is a great illustration of what concentration does for a portfolio. Because all these other things are based on the market, but they're based on 500 stocks or 100 stocks. Or a lot of them are. Most of them on here are. But when you just base it on 5, it's going to be feast or famine. It depends on how those 5 are doing. You can exaggerate moves both on the upside and the downside. SFAL is up. Salty's down 1.7. That's fine though. YQQQ is down a little bit, down about half as much as Salty. Anyway, look at this. Blocks up 5%. We'll call 5%. I'm gonna round up. LFGY up 3.4. Heck yes. Where's QLDY? I know QLDY is on here. I don't know. Is it? Where did I not put QLDY on here? Yep, there it is. QLDY is lagging a little bit right now. Anyway, but yeah, blocks, LFGY are the stars. WPay, of course, and YMAX. I have every one of those in the portfolio. I don't have SEPI. I don't have SFAL. I used to have Feed and 5E. I don't really have YMAX. I have a small amount, but that's anyway. WPay is the new YMAX. It's my new YMAX. All right. Well, that's really good to see. That is really good to see. So let's go to stocktools.app. But if you guys could think of any questions for Matthew, please put it in Discord. We have a special thing called Questions for Managers. Hey, Taz, what are you doing? How are you doing out there in Baltimore? I bet the Leafs have turned. I mean, the Leafs are starting to turn here. You guys probably got color up on the East Coast a month ago, but Jackson and I went on a huge walk yesterday and Friday. We walked about 4 miles Friday, but then yesterday we walked more than 5, and it was straight up a hill too. Anyway, we got a good work. We didn't jog though. We just walked, but it took us like hours. Anyway, we walked to a place called what's it called? We walked to a place called Bull Creek here in Austin. I'm not bailing on Alti. I love Alti. I mean, but someday I might cut my allocation a little bit. But I mean, I'd have to. What would I replace Alti with? What's better than Alti? There's not even anything out there that compares to it for what I'm looking for, because I don't have any DeFi stuff. I'm 59 years old, so I don't even know what a freaking cold storage is. And can you imagine? I would forget my password keys if I it would be a bust. So the way I can participate in the DeFi economy is to buy options in stocks. So I could buy options in Mara, but of course, when you buy options in Mara, that's going to be real hit and miss. I could also sell put spreads and MicroStrategies or something to participate in the economy, but man, that'd be tough also. Or I could let some pros do it for me, and that's what Alti is. And that's what WPay is. That's, I'll let the pros trade options for me. They're doing a lot better than I am. But yeah, I'm never selling Alti. I mean, I'm not planning on it. I mean, maybe someday. Alti's the best fund of any of these out there. It's always number one on Max's potential, and it hasn't been living up to its potential lately in the past month or so. But back this summer was certainly living up to its potential. But yeah, Alti is definitely staying there. DeFi Derby. The Granite shares is good too. I mean, I do want to add some more Granite shares. People don't like Granite shares. I like Granite shares. But anyway, I'm not trying to live off of these. That's the other thing. I was thinking about my buddy. I have a buddy. He was, for my birthday last week. I told him about a year ago how much I like Triple QI and Alti, and he bought them, and he's had them for a year on drip, and he loves them. He's thinking he's getting ready to get a car with it. But the thing is, he didn't go quit his job being a chef. He's still a chef because that's, he likes it for supplemental income, and it does great. And he has Triple QI. So, I mean, I told him, I said, okay, well, I really like Triple QI, but Triple QI is probably one of the more controversial ones out there. A lot of the guys in my Discord hate it. And he goes, it's doing great with me, So, but that's the key thing. He's not trying to retire. Hey, Taz, thank you so much. You didn't need to do that, but I appreciate that. That's really nice of you. I don't think I've got a super chat in probably 6 months. Anyway, okay, thank you so much. I'll stop going on about my buddy. We need a new chart for who pays on what day. Okay, I'll work on that. Hey, Mike, thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here, Redfish. Yeah, Huey's doing fantastic, but yeah, I think Alti's doing fantastic. The only thing I like more than Alti's blocks. I mean, I think blocks is probably the number one best, at least for a bull market. The thing is, because I'm managing actively, I'm not going to be in blocks if the market turns into a bear market. I'd probably, or I'd offset it somehow. But for a bull market, I just don't think it gets much better than blocks and Alti. Anyway, okay. So yeah, I got you, Marcus. I'll make something. Okay. So let's do this. So we've done the index buffer report. Let's look at the yield max buffer and make sure nothing in yield max land is moving too much. And then let's go to stock tools, see what's going on. Then I really am thinking on the afternoon show, I'm going to go to Twitter also. I need to make one of you guys a moderator on Twitter in case we get any, trolls from the Twitter world. On YouTube, we don't really have any trolls. There's one or two YouTube trolls. I think Dan put them in timeout or Dan put them in timeout, and I nuked one of them. It was just being a butthead. I forget who it was, but anyway, but on Twitter, Twitter's full of buttheads. So we probably need to get some moderation going over there. But anyway, all right. That's all they have on Twitter is buttheads. That's the butthead. I'm just joking. All right. Look at Murney not making as much as the parent, but it's nice to see Murney up. It's nice to see everything up. Look at this. In the YieldMax universe, there's not one of them down. And there's a few new ones on here that I haven't put on here yet. lots of but anyway, but of the ones we follow, like for instance, I don't see Carvani on here. I don't know why Carvani's not on here. I need to put it on here. Of the ones we follow, they're all up and they're all killing it. Now, the one that's doing the best vis-a-vis the parent would be GDXY, and I like to see that. Look, GDXY is up 2.01, the parent's up 2.10. Actually, Snowy, I take that back. Snowy and Dizzo are beating the parents. All right, so now let's go to stocktools.app, and then I'll take any questions from you guys. I will take any questions from you guys. Let's look here at the income ETF analysis, and let's just look at everything for the day. But anyway, yeah, so hopefully we'll roll out the Twitter. I'm hoping it's going to make the viewership go. I'm doing it just for the money, for the clicks. I don't care anything about Twitter's a cesspool. I mean, it's just, I do like Grok. I mean, it does have some cool, since Elon took over, it's become less of a cesspool, but it's still a cesspool. But Elon has added some really cool features to it. So not the least of which is probably the best feature is the Spaces feature. That's a really cool feature. So we'll give it a try. We'll give it a try for a month. We'll see if, but I'm really hoping it takes the station the next level. That's the only reason I'm doing it. All right, so look at this. LFG, is LFGY the number one fund in the whole universe right now? Look at that. Would you take a look at that? I love that. Unfortunately, I sold all of my LFGY, but I replaced it with other stuff that does the same thing, blocks and Alti and other things. But man, good job, LFGY. Look, that's incredible. That's incredible. 5E and feet, of course, we've already seen that. Then YMAX is having a great day. Oh, look at this. This is a silver fund. The Junior Silver Miners is killing it. Then we have RDTY, Chippy, Soxy, Alti, and QDTY. Well, and then GPTY. I need to make another list that just, I'm going to start making a list that just ignores the individual stocks. I mean, you guys don't know how little I care about the individual stocks. I only talk about them because of you guys. I don't know why anyone would mess with individual stocks when you could do LFGY or blocks or Alti or FEPI or SEPI or feed or 5E or whatever. Maybe not feed or 5E. But anyway, in fact, I'm going to make a max factor where I'm going to start doing the max factor report. I'm going to do the top 20 diversified instead of the top 20. I'll still do the top 20 overall because it's cool to see what's moving up the most. It's always going to be an individual stock. But also, whenever down market, it's always going to be the individual stocks that lead the way. It's just math. But I think I might make another category. We have the top 20 long-term, top 20 short-term. I might do the top 20 diversified, and I'll only consider stocks that have at least 10 underlines. So that would knock out feed and 5E because they aren't really diversified enough. But you would get things like FEPI, SEPI, LFGY, blocks, Alti, and I want to see which one's the best of those because that's where these guys, these covered call sellers add value for me is in the hedge fund type portfolio things. So anyway, that by next week and I'll get that going. But anyway, all I'm saying is today, I guess for whatever reason, that's all we have is diversified. Feed and 5E at least have 5. YMAX is diversified. SLJY is diversified. RDTY is diversified. Chippy's diversified. Soxy, Alti, QD. It's almost like, I bet you not all the stocks are selected. There's got to be something wrong. There's no way. There's no single stocks up there. Let's go check this out. I think it's probably just on YieldMax or something. Anyway, I like whatever it's showing us, but it says select. Let me select none and then back to all to make sure we have all actually selected. Because there's no way Huey or Paul T or one isn't doing better than LFGY. I mean, I get it that the single stocks do better in an up market too. Absolutely. I get that part of it. I get the appeal to the single stocks. Okay. So yeah, I don't think that last list was right. I think the last list was the best of the YieldMax universe, which is cool, but okay, this is the best of the overall universe. All right. Well, of course, it's BITX. So look, these guys are totally uncapped at night, and that's the guys who I have my interview with tomorrow. So, I mean, like I just said, the market went from what, 104 to 110, over the weekend, and they're uncapped. That's wonderful. That's the way you do it. Just wait till a bear market, though. In a bear market, these guys are going to be the worst. WPay is going to be the second worst. Alti is going to be or LFGY is going to be the third worst. And Alti is going to be right there too. So, I mean, nothing will do well in a bear market, but this one will do even worse. But because it could be uncapped at night, and guess what happens at night in a bear market? Yep. So, or in a pullback, that anyway, it's just that 80% everyone says stocks go up at night. Well, yeah, true, and also stocks go up, so you have to be long. That's why I don't like iron condors. I don't like cutting anything that cuts off your upside. So anyway, all right. Well, this is a better list. We have Morrow, MST. Maxi, BTGD, which is finally recovering because Bitcoin and gold are both recovering. It's great to see. Murni is on the list, and YETH. I think that other list was just a list of diversified companies because I was like, these are all diversified. But I think maybe it was just a list of, anyway, just a list of YOMAX. Anyway, that's really great to see. I'm really happy to see that. All right, let's look at the market dashboard, and then I'll take any questions. And then I need to get working on this interview for tomorrow. We just need to stop by here every morning because we can see, Russell's up nearly 2, UVXY's down 10. Dow's up even 1%. Gold's up 2.5%. IBIT's up 4. Is IBIT? No, IBIT's. I was going to say IBIT's not leveraged. It's just Bitcoin, unleveraged Bitcoin, right? Of course, the tech industrial, those are the ones that are up the most. The heat map is all green except for the staples. Utilities are neutral. And no, there's anything you guys want to ask me or talk about, we can darn sure cover it. But I need to get working on my interview tomorrow. Or actually, you guys will give me questions. I probably don't need to work too hard on that. I bet by the end of the day, there's 5 questions in there to ask Matthew Tuttle from BITK. Also, if you can't think of a question now, just watch the show live. It's tomorrow at 3 Eastern, 2 Central. So thumbs up along the way. I really haven't checked into Granite shares yet. You guys may be right about Granite shares. I don't know. I'll look into it. I think it's just, some of their funds do really well. Okay, why SPY? Oh, why can't they capture upside when they're supposed to be leveraged? Well, none of these funds catch a lot of upside. But why? I was checking, and why SPY catches upside? But still, though, just because I like it, I could be an idiot. Don't listen to me. If you like it, I am an idiot. What else do you want from a thing? Why SPY's spanking, all the ones that people think are safe. Like, I think it's being T-SPY. Yeah, look at that. Come on, what do you mean it doesn't get upside? It's beating T-SPY. People love T-SPY. Now, but over here's I'll give my opinion. None of these get ups. They aren't designed to get upside. Some of them do get a little bit of upside because they sell options or a little bit in the money and they capture a little bit of upside. And the single stock ones capture a lot of upside. They'll go way out of the money to sell options. So it depends on how far out of the money they go. I would say but to answer your question, it's probably because they sell options that are right at the money. You don't have to, catching upside isn't the only way to make money. It's what I like, but like I say, I could be an idiot. You also make money off yield. Upside isn't the only way to make money. That's one way to make money, is catching upside, but you can also just capture a steady income every day. So I think that's more what they're trying to do, is the steady income. If they do happen to get a little upside, that's fine, but they aren't, I wouldn't say they're going for it. But I mean, when you're beating T-Spy, and there's people that literally think T-Spy can do no wrong. That I don't know how many times I've heard, now T-Spy doesn't have erosion. T-Spy doesn't have, it hasn't had erosion yet. Wait till we have a bear market. You know what I'm saying? I mean, every time they pay a dividend, that is the erosion. The dividend is the erosion. So, but yeah. Now maybe I do know. So I think maybe Y-Spy's the best. Now let's look at the XBTY. I think maybe people haven't been happy with that one. Let's compare it to YBTC or something. Yeah, and I can see that one's making people mad, and because I've heard bad comments about that one. But what have we had in crypto lately? A bear market. What did I just say? These things won't do well in a bear market. T-Spy won't even do well. Nothing. I mean, because it's just, they're dependent on the market to go up. It's doing bad, but the thing is, it's not doing bad as YBTC. So, and I don't have an explanation for that. I really haven't studied that one that much. Let's look at what are some other ones? Is YBit one? Yeah, YBit. There's so many of them. YBTC, YBit. Well, they're all beating. I don't know what the problem with XBTY is. I'll agree with you. XBTY has a problem, but I think Y-Spy's legit. I know, but I'm saying, stuff. I always say what I think is correct, but sometimes, like I say, I was probably way too excited about triple QY when we first started. My buddy likes it, and so just what I'm saying is, don't listen to somebody just blindly. You listen to them and say, okay, this is what Max says, but man, I don't know. I don't agree with Max. I think Max is wrong there. But yeah, I appreciate the compliment. COYY is kicked your ass. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess I need to look at the granted shares more. Options that were out of the money when they first started out. Then they started moving it up to at the money and sometimes in the money when I checked. And they seem to start doing a little better. And then I typed in Y-Spy and tested it again. I think at least Y-Spy is legit. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know about the other ones. And I know that people love, Y-Spy and TQQY aren't great for upside capture. They're 100% for income. Okay. My blocks and WPay cost base are below the current price. Yeah. We got some blocks. But like I say, maybe I love blocks too much now. In other words, maybe blocks works for what I'm trying to do, but it may not work for what you're trying to do. So just factor that. Think, okay, Max loves blocks, but man, blocks seems to drop like 10% whenever the market turns around in a fast way. I don't want any piece of that. But that's why I always try to give you the caution that the blocks and WPay will be the worst if the market turns around. They're going to drop like a rock. But the thing is, how far are blocks in Alti going to get ahead of the game while the market still goes up like it has been for the past crash? It'll be all right. But yeah, blocks drops fast and goes up fast too. Yeah, that's more what I'm trying to teach people here. There's no such thing. There's these things aren't magic, and there's just math. And by understanding what they're doing, we can have a pretty good eye on what kind of market they're going to work for. That's all I'm trying to. That's all I'm see. I do really like LFGY. I like SEPI. I like FEPI, even though I don't have those. I think those are the good ones, and I really like GPTY, and I actually have a lot of GPTY. I haven't divested a bit yet. I sold half of my GPTY, but GPTY is a good one too. Anyway, all right, guys, I'll stop stop whatever it's called, filibustering or whatever. But yeah, I like granite shares, but they're for everybody. And also, here's the other thing. And that's why I showed you those. My wife's buy percentage is like 4%. So when I say I like it, I mean I like it for 4 or 5% of my account. But yeah, I agree. It may not be. I'll agree with you. The Y-SPY is not as good as other ones that are based on the SPY. Absolutely. But I think it's doing an adequate job. All right. So Marcus is saying for crypto income ETF blocks is doing amazing. Yeah. Like I said, I wish I had cold storage. I wish I knew how that worked. And I wish I was all into altcoins and I had a portfolio and a wallet. I wish I could do the buy me a sandwich deal where I could put buy me a sandwich and then you guys could, if you guys have crypto, you could donate in crypto. I just don't even, and I probably need to do that just for the sake of having it. But I don't, since I don't do that, I like DeFi. I like old Wall Street methods to get exposure to DeFi. And I think blocks and Alti are kick ass. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. We'll hopefully tonight we'll do the multicast. And if anyone wants to volunteer to be the Twitter whatchamacallit moderator, I'm gonna see how to appoint a moderator on Twitter. Anyway, we'll do that this evening. Let's go for 4 o'clock or something, which would be 5 o'clock your time. All right. All right. And thanks for telling me I'm not an idiot. As I didn't mean I was literally an idiot, but you know what I mean? I could be wrong is what I should have said. I could be wrong and have been. So, can you change the green tickets? Those are just the ones I follow. What do you mean, Smith? I don't, Smitty, I don't get it. Can you change the green tickets? Those are just the ones I follow. Yeah, I'm concerned about NAVs. I mean, I would be concerned about Alti's NAV if it didn't pay 80%. So, but yes, it's NAV. I'm telling you, if you guys think, if you're in Alti because you think the NAV's going up, get out. It's not going up. Alti's NAV is going to drop 50% every year, and it's going to reverse split the rest of its life. That just, I mean, that's a broad estimate, but yeah, so it's going to drop 50% every year, and it's paying an 80% yield. It's still doubling the market's return. It's a different type of investment, but the NAV is absolutely going to drop. So no, I'm not concerned about it. But if you're concerned about it, you probably don't need to be an Alti, because it's just design. That's just the way it's. What's Xbox? I like my payment calendar. With the okay, you mean on Discord or something? Okay, well anyway, let me catch up with what you guys. Okay, forgot to mention, Smitty, if you're on Discord, just hit me up with a message in Discord. You linked, okay. Did I not go back far enough? Maybe I didn't go back far. Did you link it in this comment or did you link it on Discord? I'm sorry, right now I am acting like an idiot. But anyway. You linked your Google. Okay. Well, it'll probably come to me as a Google, whatever. I'll figure it out. What's Xbox doing? Okay. All right. I'll look for it. What's Xbox doing, Marcus? Is that a fund? Is there a fund called Xbox? I wonder what if the ticker Xbox was, they could be like, maybe they could invest in things like Activision in video game companies or something. Anyway, I haven't heard of Xbox. Is that a thing, or are you talking about something else? XBOC. It's probably I don't know. I'm not sure on Xbox, Marcus. Okay. New ETF from Round Hill coming due. Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. Really doing box spreads. Interesting. Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate that. I'll go check it out. Interesting. So that's like a cash management account. Now that'd be a good thing to put in if you thought. I mean, that's a great defensive thing. Just it's going to be like T-Oak. I love T-Oak. Thank you, Smitty. I'll go check that out in Discord. I got to get out of here. Jax looks like he needs to go potty. Let me get out of here, and we'll catch up in Discord, and I'll catch up with you guys later. But I will. I see what you're saying. I got you. I think I know what you're saying now. I'll go look at Discord. You got a payment schedule for us. Perfect. Thank you so much, Smitty. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Talk to you later.